Well, it's like this. You got the typewriter set, and you got the television, right? And what my device does is it combines both of those in stupefying synergy. So much so that it will almost instantly become more central to the American domicile than the icebox.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You couldn't possibly. If you did, it would be your idea, and it's not. And anyway, I haven't gotten to the greatest expression of this whole what's-it concept. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a photograph of yourself, and then... Oh wait, I forgot to mention this device is psychic.
A psychic television set typewriter?
Telepathic with all the rest of these blessed machines. Let's say they participate in a group mind. And so what's really going to be the home run is you're going to take a picture of yourself.
Oh, is it a camera now too?
Listen, it's more than a photograph. It's a picture of your whole self, your soul, a psychograph. So you're going to take this soul picture and...
Yes?
Permanently install it into the imagination of this psychic television set typewriter gizmo.
Where do I begin? Why would anyone do any of this?
For immortality.
Talking with you can be more interesting if it made any sense.
It's the most obvious thing.
Please, elucidate or further obscure, as it suits you.
In your opinion, what is it Americans value most?
Well-manicured lawns.
No, you say freedom and I say convenience.
Okay, freedom.
Cars, refrigeration, lawnmowers, sliced bread, all of the modern technologies, and death. Death is the ultimate inconvenience. Ultimate in both senses of the word. It's the last inconvenience. But it's also the fundamental inconvenience. It negates all the toil of man.
Inconvenience, be not proud. The angel of inconvenience.
Sure.
No, wait. Assault with an inconvenient weapon.
It negates all the toil of man. It renders life impotent. If it were a product, life would have too many bugs in it for it to even be on the market at this point. What my device does is it works out all those bugs and makes life infinitely convenient, and man will live to his full potential.
Guffaw.
Look, I don't care if you live to be 80 years old. Death is an interruption, whatever age. I don't know what you'll be doing, but I'll still be doing something when I die, and because it's unpredictable at its core, then life at its core is meaningless. Death turns life into a speck.
I'll be sure to set the date for my suicide.
In this mode of existence, I don't care if you're terminally ill. I don't care if you have a date with the electric chair, scheduled to the minute, and you're counting down time with an atomic clock. Death comes like a thief in the night. Sudden and uninvited.
You might as well be describing birth.
Hey, buddy, you look like you hiked through a swimming pool.
I'll have a coffee.
Take this man's face. Hey, fellow, what would you say if I could give you the opportunity to implant your imagination into the imagination of a psychic machine?
Don't give me a picture of them. They've been going all night.
For immortality?
No. Thank you.
You see, he hasn't gotten the whole spiel yet. In your opinion, what is it Americans value most?
Don't say well-manicured lawns.
Say, you're not too quick after midnight. What are you doing up so late past your bedtime?
Oh, you get tired of hearing yourself talk?
I was driving. I ran out of gas.
Where were you headed?
I was trying to get to the end. But there is no end.
Listen to him. Well, you came to the end of your tank anyway.
I'll just fill it back up tomorrow.
They're filling it back up tomorrow.
Cheers.
Sure, we fill it back up tomorrow. But it's not really the same, is it? I mean, starting day 2, you're never 100%. Fact is, we spend our whole, you can't even really call them whole. We spend our whole lives carrying our corpses on a circuitous road to the graves, and what I'm talking about is absolute freedom and convenience. Dropping our bodies off at the last stop and riding unencumbered toward eternity.
That thought does not comfort me.
You're just not thinking about it right.
I'm already experiencing it. We all are.
And to think no one told me.
Wait, if I'm experiencing it, what's with me not realizing it?
You don't know what I know.
Got another guy who knows something.
What do you know?
I know. This.
Shit, Buster, that's a birth defect waiting to happen.
Birth is the defect!
You know some slime in a jar?
He doesn't realize it, but this man here has more use for my device than any of us.
Oh, yes? He seems to want it to leave.
This man here is...
Who needs magic television when you have a cookie jar's worth of radioactive snot?
This man here is clearly depressed, despondent, taken to carrying slime and jars into dynamism for all the other reasons psychologists generate for chronic unhappiness. I mean, how else do they fill their whole books, right? There is, and I mean this, there really is only one reason to be depressed.
And what do you think my reason is?
I'm telling you your reason. It's dissatisfaction with circumstance. Sure, there are details to his story, the scorn of a woman, the loss of money, chronic headaches, and the details are important to a point. But behind the superficial differences is always circumstance. And what makes us vulnerable to circumstance?
Communist!
Having a body! Instead of moping around in this defective and imperfect husk, no offense, he would have become a finely cultivated, disembodied personality living in a shared dream. Why? Whatever's the matter with him would no longer be so.
But if we all whisper ourselves into the ear of some dreaming machine, our most private thoughts would no longer be private.
Privacy is well, besides death, privacy is the greatest enemy of
The
immortality.
two are completely unrelated.
Events that happen in perfect privacy might as well not happen, pragmatically speaking, capital P pragmatism. And people who live in anonymity, they don't exist. In my future, with my machine, privacy, anonymity is the only hell. All else is life everlasting.
Life is everlasting. That's what makes it so monstrous.
Is nobody listening to me?
I am a monster. You are a monster. I'm sorry. You are a monster, and I'm sorry, but you are a monster.
Hey, don't worry about it.
There are other monsters in the room, but I'm trying not to think of them.
Hey, mister, what's in the jar anyway?
It makes monsters.
How?
It makes life.
Sure, it's an experimental fertilizer.
In this jar is pure, spontaneous, creative force. The stuff God used to make the universe.
Sounds really interesting. No, that sounds really profitable. Have you thought about putting it in smaller jars and maybe selling it? You know, this is the kind of idea that really sells itself, and the market for it is enormous. A dream, really. It's better than my idea. I've been thinking too small. I see that now.
I'm near this thing, and I'm always near it. Every cell of my body cries out for selfhood. Even rocks and glass and metal cry out when I walk by with it.
Can I touch it?
He's disturbed.
The awful truth is that there is no void. There's flux, but no void, no rest. Only everlasting life. I don't know how old I am. I'm sick and I get sicker, but I don't die.
Sounds like it's really got you down. Why don't you pass it on to somebody else?
I'm the guardian.
Who appointed you?
I don't remember.
See, from my perspective, it really ought to belong to everyone, don't you think? I mean, it's universal, truly. And secondly, it seems an awful waste to spend your life putzing around with the Godhead in a jar doing nothing with it.
I'm the guardian because I do nothing with it. Because I know life is endless suffering.
Well, my life feels endless, goddammit, and I've been suffering all night long. Okay? And I'm tired, and it's time for me to go home, and we have Hiroshima and a fucking mason jar giving me God knows what worse, and you're all leaving. You're going home to your UFO, and you're going home to your psychic goddamn television, whatever, and we're closing.
It doesn't matter.
Like, you never close.
I'm closing, it's over.
Well, I know I'm exhausted.
I thought I was just getting good myself.